30 useless geography facts that'll give you another perspective on size. Hey there, geography buffs! Ready to have your mind blown by some utterly useless but incredibly fascinating geography facts? Today we're diving into the wild world of size comparisons that'll make you see our planet in a whole new light. Buckle up, because these facts are going to stretch your imagination and maybe even your sense of reality. Fact 1. Did you know that Texas is so massive that if it had the same population density as New York City, you could fit the entire world population within its borders? Yep, all of us crammed into the Lone Star State. Talk about a Texas-sized party. Fact 2. Speaking of big, let's talk about Brazil. This South American giant is so huge that you could fit all the countries of the European Union inside it twice over and still have some space left over. Imagine squeezing in those diverse cultures and landscapes into one country. It would be quite the adventure. Fact 3, and here's a cosmic twist for you. Australia is wider than the moon. That's right, mate. The distance across Australia from east to west is about 4,000 kilometers, while the moon's diameter is just 3,474 kilometers. Next time you look up at the night sky, just remember, down under is a bit wider than our lunar buddy. Fact 4. Now picture this. Monaco is the second smallest country in the world, but did you know you could fit the entire country into Central Park in New York City and still have room for a hot dog stand and a jog around the park? Fact 5. Here's one to wrap your head around. Russia spans 11 time zones. Yes, you heard that right. When it's breakfast time in Moscow, some Russians are already thinking about dinner. Talk about a country that never sleeps. Fact 6. Ever wondered how vast the Sahara Desert really is? Well, it's so enormous that it's roughly the same size as the entire United States. Imagine the entire US covered in sand dunes and scorching heat. Now that's a serious sunburn waiting to happen. Fact 7. Here's a juicy one for you. Alaska is so big that if it were a country, it would be the 18th largest in the world. It's bigger than Nigeria and nearly twice the size of Texas, and we thought everything was bigger in Texas. Fact 8. Let's shrink things down a bit. Did you know that Vatican City is the smallest country in the world? It's so tiny that you could walk across the entire country in less than 20 minutes. Who knew you could tour an entire nation in less time than it takes to watch an episode of your favorite TV show? Fact 9. Here's a cool comparison. The Great Wall of China is so long that it could stretch from Los Angeles to Miami, and then some. This ancient wonder spans over 13,000 miles, making it the longest wall in the world. Talk about a colossal feat of engineering. Fact 10. Now let's talk about water. Canada has the longest coastline of any country in the world. If you walked its entire length, you'd cover over 150,000 miles. That's like walking around the Earth 6 times. Better pack a lot of snacks. Fact 11. Here's a mind-boggler. The Dead Sea is so salty that people can float effortlessly on its surface. But did you know it's also the lowest point on Earth? Sitting more than 400 meters below sea level, it's the ultimate spot for a salty soak. Fact 12. Get this. The Amazon rainforest produces about 20% of the world's oxygen. It's often called the lungs of the Earth. Without it, we'd all be gasping for breath. So, next time you take a deep breath, thank the Amazon. Fact 13. Here's a rocky fact. The Grand Canyon is so massive that it could fit the entire state of Rhode Island within its depths, multiple times. It's over 270 miles long and more than a mile deep in some places. Fact 14. Here's a wild one. If you stretched out the Mississippi River, it would almost be the same distance as from New York City to San Francisco, which is coast to coast. At over 2,300 miles, it's one of the longest rivers in the world. That's a lot of water flowing through the heart of America. Fact 15. Did you know that Africa is the only continent that is in all 4 hemispheres? It's true. The equator runs through the middle, placing parts of Africa in the northern, southern, eastern, and western hemispheres. It's a continent that truly spans the globe. Fact 16. Saudi Arabia is so vast that it's the largest country in the world without a river. It covers over 2 million square kilometers of mostly desert terrain. Fact 17. Ever heard of a place called Point Nemo? It's the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, the farthest point from any land. If you were stranded there, the closest humans would be the astronauts aboard the International Space Station. Talk about remote. Fact 18. The Sahara Desert might be huge, but Antarctica holds the title for the largest desert in the world. It's a cold desert, of course, covering about 5.5 million square miles. It's so dry that some parts haven't seen rain in nearly 2 million years. Also, it is twice the size of Australia. Fact 19. This one's a doozy. Greenland is the world's largest island. but it's smaller than you think. Despite its massive appearance on maps, it's actually only about 1/4 the size of Australia. Maps sure can be deceiving. Fact 20. The Pacific Ocean is so vast that it covers more area than all the land masses on Earth combined. It's so big that all the continents could fit into it with room to spare. That's one seriously big pond. Fact 21. Lake Superior is so large that it could hold all the water in the other Great Lakes combined, with enough room left over to fit more Lake Erie's. That's one supersized lake. Fact 22. The surface area of Russia is so vast that it's larger than the surface area of Pluto. Russia covers over 17 million square kilometers, while Pluto is about 16.6 million square kilometers. Fact 23. Japan consists of over 6,800 islands, but did you know that its total land area is smaller than the state of California? That's a lot of islands in a relatively small space. Fact 24. Africa is so vast that it could fit China, India, the United States, and most of Europe within its borders. That's one continent with room for nearly half the world. Fact 25. Ever wondered where you can find the highest capital city in the world? Look no further than La Paz, Bolivia, perched at a dizzying 11,942 feet above sea level. You might need an oxygen mask just to visit. Fact 26. Mount Kilimanjaro is the tallest freestanding mountain in the world, standing at 19,341 feet. It rises from the plains of Tanzania all on its own, without any mountain range around it. Fact 27. Did you know that the Nile River is so long it could stretch across the entire United States, from coast to coast, and then some? It's over 4,100 miles long, making it the longest river in the world. That's a lot of water flowing through Africa. Fact 28. Here's a compact fact. Belgium is so small that you could drive across the entire country in about 3 hours. That's shorter than the time it takes to cross some of the larger US states. Fact 29. The Amazon River is so vast that during the rainy season, it can be over 30 miles wide in some places. That's like crossing a small ocean just to get to the other side of the river. Fact 30. Finally, let's end with a bang. The Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the world's oceans, reaching a staggering depth of over 36,000 feet. That's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. It's like the hidden basement of our planet. And there you have it, folks. 30 mind-bending geography facts that'll make you see the world a little differently.